Genesis readers, chapter 9. We're not going to spend too much on the first half of this chapter. There's some important stuff I want to get to in the second half. But as we had said before, Noah is almost functioning as a second Adam. And as such, it's almost as if he's given a chance to replant Eden. And so God tells Noah what he had told Adam: be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, have dominion. The way that dominion now starts being talked about here is animals have fear of us and dread of us. There seemed to be a different order between man and animals before the flood. Prior to that, these things weren't there. Now they are. Well, sin had entered the world. Now, he starts to get into, the author of Genesis starts to get into talk about flesh and blood, that we are not to eat flesh with blood in it. From life blood, if blood is taken, God will require a reckoning. Blood in the Old Testament, and the New for that matter, is an extremely important concept, and because without it you can't live. You can live without a lot of different things, or you could have a no hand, no arm, no eyes. You could live without a lot of different things. You cannot live without blood. That contains our life. And of course the New Testament picks that up with Jesus, who shed his blood. And in our liturgy, so we keep this Old Testament to New Testament, and in the liturgy that we have every Sunday, we keep this very biblical theme as we pick it up in the cup, that blood which is shed for us and which we can partake. And so since our lifeblood is corrupted, it's us plus Jesus, all tied back to the blood. Well, we've got this early statement in Genesis about justice, really. This is the early formation of justice, of almost like a governmental policy. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man his blood shall be shed, for God made him in his own image. Well, because sin had entered into the world, sin makes things really complicated. There's going to be major problems. And because of that, there has to be a way to sort out these problems. There's got to be a way, because of sin, to find justice. This is an early statement of that. Again, coming back to this Adamic things, the Adam and Eve type things: be fruitful, multiply, increase greatly. Okay. God makes a covenant, which is the rainbow. What scholars have noted is the rainbow is actually a very similar word for like a bow and arrow. So if God hangs a bow in the sky, scholars have thought that's almost like him saying he hung up his bow and arrow. No more war. God versus all of mankind. God still deals with recalcitrant sinners, right? Stubborn sinners. But no more will he war against us as his creation. All right, let's focus now on verse 20 and below. Okay. Well, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Right, they're going to come back into play in a minute. Remember, Noah is almost functioning as a second Adam. All right, so Noah, second Adam, in his garden. So now that he's in his garden, he's a man of the soil, garden, Eden. And what did we see in Eden? That was a major temptation. Fruit. Noah planted a vineyard. All right. A careful reader of Genesis would already know, if you see Adam plus garden plus fruit, this whole thing is going to get bad real fast. Noah drank of the wine and became drunk, lay uncovered in his tent. So as Adam and Eve, after they ate the fruit, recognized that they were naked, so now Noah is naked. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw this nakedness and told his two brothers outside. Okay? That doesn't really seem to be that problematic. What's the big deal? Well, then Shem and Japheth took a garment. Now you remember after the Garden of Eden. So Adam and Eve had sinned. They ate from the tree. They found out they were naked, and as they were being kicked out of the garden, as they were leaving, Adam and Eve had covered themselves with leaves, fig leaves, but God had covered them in animal skins. Shem and Japheth, similar to the act of God, cover their father with a garment, laid it on both shoulders, walked backward, covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned backward. They did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, knew what his youngest son had done to him. Okay, this is already, if we haven't been tracking with this Genesis 1 through 3 type imagery, we would be lost by the time we got here. His youngest son, who was Ham, had done to him. Well, what had he done? What did he do? Well, all he did was see his father's nakedness and told his two brothers. What exactly did he do? What did he do to be? Then Noah goes, "Cursed be Canaan." So, which is actually the son, right? Ham was the father. So Noah is cursing his whole lineage. Cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall be to his brothers. And he also said, "Blessed be the Lord God of Shem. Let Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth. Let him dwell in the tents of Shem. And let Canaan be his servant." We can see at the end here, the infection of sin even reigns with Noah because, of course, he died. But back to this. What exactly did Ham do? So we have Shem, who is the eldest son, then Japheth, and then Ham. Ham had done something so bad he gets all of his descendants, the first of which is Canaan, cursed to be servants to the other two brothers. What did he do? We got to go back here to verse 22 and 23. Here's my take on what Canaan did. Canaan saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers. So what did Ham do? Ham, the father of Canaan, do? I'm saying that what Ham did was he gloated. Ham saw the fall of his father Noah, the guy that was supposed to be a strong helper. What sin does to us is when sin infects us, what we do is when we see another person infected by sin, we laugh, we gloat, we look forward to their downfall. We say, well, if I have had to have fallen, then so have you have fallen. And we see this all the time. But when families get divorced, the spouses get divorced, one spouse would just love to see the other crash and burn. When sports rivals, if they hate each other, they just love to see the other one crash and burn. Political rivals, nothing better than for a Republican to see the Democrats fall apart, or for the Democrats to see the Republicans fall apart. The writer of Genesis is saying that's not just like gloating. It's incredibly bad. It's deserving of a curse. Why? Because when we see our fellow man and women sin and fall, when we see the reenactment of Eden happen again, when we see one of our fellow humans being tempted and falling again, we should do as God did. We should take a garment and cover them, and not cover them up, and not look on their nakedness. So when we gloat, when we laugh at people, or when we're glad that other people got theirs, the writer of Genesis is saying, that's not just some pride, that's not just some haughty laughter. It's deserving of a curse. It's really, really bad because it is the exact opposite of what God did. God could have looked at us and said, I told you not to eat from that tree. You did it anyway. Well, forget you then. He didn't do that. He covered us. On to chapter 10 tomorrow. Take care.